Embra no a ye wono constitution no article 97(1) G and H HSS omo yesa na HSS say omo advocate omo seat na speaker nso wo hutumi say otisa say oma yeti wo parliament wo hwe ye stand order na enu nti na speaker tutu saa na mo ye speaker ye ni nyina ne ewo mra kwan so say na so ye na ba no saa no nti no ama ye NDC fu ana ye minority no se sia ye majority ye ho adoso ase MPP fu wo hwe mra mu no a te sia no che say ye oha aduasansia na MPP fu ye oha aduasa enum ama ye akoye majority na saa majority na ye mra kwan so na de amayen na nyade a ye betutu mu fom say the leader kai no ye be gina say ye majority ni aye niema majority ye be ye niema ebeboa Ghana man na ye ma obia emetiatia ye mfa hodi so ye gidi say speaker ni decision na o make you no e mra kwan so obia entumi nsisa no na ye be gina say majority going forward medamase na ye majority nso ye nya no ye bebo modern say sa mrekitwa ye de be ye niema bia ye nim say ha Ghana for example tax how many yen bibi to say ye levy bibi say betting tax ye be to na more than didn't 10 tema make sure say sa mra ni nyina ya sesa na ama Ghana for ho ato
ada for me do bibi ase amobi akwaba e dia ba the Punch TV message say obe share video e dia ama me ama foforo nya bi ahwe no hu ne yekoso e wo man Ghana ene ne yechekuleti e social media no eso media ne akire broni de bia nsem no foforo ba ne ba se de bia me de me ka me se ade ye che e beda be sore ya nti asem no na che se enye ti de bia nsem foforo ba ne be ba social media no so ne ba the Punch TV ye de bibia e trodo ye be fa se video asem na nipa ne kan yo se de sitie na ene be ba be ka na emom no ye nyi bi mfrim ye mfa bi enka ho ekura it is a ope ensem de be twa go social media ne so anade eje ne ho me na ewo media ne so aye no kura kwa dia meso so be ni subscribe button ne so na subscribe to your YouTube channel no eye the Punch TV se de be ya e post video a onsusu be nya notification no wa hwe bi e de ama me e ma re mfi so obe share video no obe like afi wa dwenchire no waje no comment section hono e de ama me ama matimi aba bekenkan e de ama.
Suspend a decision of Parliament. We are not aware of any law or any constitutional provision that enables anybody to suspend a decision of the Speaker in Parliament properly constituted. What we know is that under Article 2 of the Constitution and Article 130 of the Constitution, the Supreme Court has jurisdiction to make a declaration as to whether or not an act is consistent or inconsistent with a provision of the Constitution. But to suspend a decision of Parliament or a directive of the Speaker in Parliament, we are not aware of the legal basis of a conduct like that. Be that as it may, we as parliamentarians act on the basis of communication coming to us from the Speaker. We don't hear things in the news and act on them, or cite copies of records of proceedings in any court on social media and act on them. We act on the basis of communication coming to us from the Right Honorable Speaker. And if that communication says we should walk into the sea, we walk into the sea. Because we listen only to the Speaker and nobody else in relation to the integrity, the legality and the appropriateness of what has happened in the chamber of Parliament. So that is my brief response to you in terms of your question. And the second question, which relates to the precedent that has been set by Mike Okwe, and why we in the majority today will be seeking to benefit from that precedent. I will say that when Mike Okwe gave his ruling in 2020, there were many who disagreed with him, and there were many who benefited from that ruling. But when Speaker Bagwin responded to the statement made by our now majority leader, and went ahead pursuant to Order 18 to communicate the vacancy of the 4 seats. In responding, he made some comments also, and his commentary was so persuasive that even those of us who questioned the propriety of Mike Okwe's action in 2020 became convinced that indeed Mike Okwe was right. I'm one of those that in 2020 publicly disagreed with Mike Okwe. I believe it was because Mike Okwe did not articulate his position very well. And when Speaker Bagwin responded to the statement and communicated the vacancy of the seats, and in doing so made some statements, his arguments or his commentary in relation to Article 97 1G was very, very persuasive, very persuasive, especially his position that if Article 97 is applicable to the next Parliament, then it becomes a useless provision. It's not necessary. And those who provided for it in the Constitution could not have intended to engage in a useless exercise. So I can assure you that we are not convinced because Michael created it. We are convinced because we now see wisdom in the provision in the Constitution and the action of those who drafted our Constitution.
Yes, thank you. We take 3 more. We take three more. We come this way. We go. Yes,
thank you, leader. My name is Nkansah, and I work with Adult TV. My question is for fair hearing. Even though Speaker Bagwin cited evidences of these MPs reported to have vacated their action, wouldn't that be better for the Speaker to have heard from them before acting? The argument of the fact that they acted on nothing because officially they have not received letters from their political parties.
Thank you very much. Next.
I want to find out if the unlikelihood that the Speaker decides to approach the Supreme Court decision, what would the Supreme Court be doing?
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Next.
Thank you. My name is Kwekun Sekida, so I work for GhanaMPs.com. My simple question, I'm a bit worried. This particular parliament started with a fight. And
started with what?
Right.
Okay.
And looking at where you are going before the lifespan of this parliament, and would you end with a fight?
No. If we are fighting against poverty, corruption. Thank you. The last one, then the leadership.
Thank you. Who speaks your colleague Akoyomaki argues that you made a statement
and that decisions are taken if it is a motion and yours was a statement, and so the speaker's ruling is against the orders of the House. What is your response?
Okay, let me start. As always, I'll be starting. Colleagues will fill in. Thank you very much for the questions. Let me start with the one from Adom FM, Adom TV. These persons in question, the 4 former MPs, they were in the House, some of them. They have representations as leadership. They are either with the majority or minority. None of them denied the fact that they have contested as independent candidates or have moved from independent to a political party. So what else do we want the speaker to do? So and the evidence are out there. They are colleagues. We know they have contested. It's a matter of fact. So it's not something that someone is sitting somewhere and concocting a story or as such. It is a matter of fact, and they could not deny it. To date, they've not been able to deny it. Number 2, you raised the issue with what my colleague, Honorable Afenyo Markin, apparently may have said. I doubt he made that kind of pronouncement, because obviously it is not up to him to interpret the standing orders of the House. He can speak to it, but the decision is not up to him. It is for the speaker to interpret the standing orders of our House. So you can rule him out of order with what he said. And then the last one, as to whether we will fight. The only thing we'll fight has to do with the fight against corruption. We'll fight corruption, but we'll fight. We don't intend to fight in the chamber. We don't intend to fight. We only fight corruption and protect the Constitution. Nothing more, nothing less. Thank you.
Just to add to that, if you notice on that fateful day of the beginning of this parliament, it was government that ordered the military and the police to enter the chamber and assault members of parliament. Indeed, my colleague, Honorable colleague, filed a motion for those individuals, of which we have details of those military officers and what they did in the chamber. But I can guarantee you it's not yet sunset on those issues. Just to add, we are aware that between yesterday and today, some elements of government have had a meeting again to deploy the military to the precincts of parliament to enter the tent. We are aware of that. We can just ask those around the Accra Sports Stadium that at a point in time tomorrow they repeat the same misconduct. We can guarantee them the people of this country are sovereign. If you wear a military uniform or police uniform, you work to the Constitution. But they should be aware that the life of this government is less than 2 months. They will have to account for their conduct in 2020 and whatever they do tomorrow. But they shouldn't be surprised the people of this country would react forcefully to any misconduct of anybody in uniform on Tuesday and beyond. Thank you. We take the last batch of questions if you have any. Yes.
Last batch. And then after that we'll do the three versions.
Leader, Tuesday, both of you are returning to the chamber. I'm talking about both sides. And of course, the decisions are varied. Doesn't whatever happens on Tuesday rest with the speaker? Do you have indication as to how the speaker will allow things to pan out? Because the decision as to whether what happened at the court holds or doesn't rest with the speaker, and what will be your expectation of the speaker?
Thank you. Next question. Should we say that's the final question?
Yes. Okay. Look, I'm not the Speaker of Parliament, and I cannot preempt the Speaker. I don't know his intention. But what I can assure you is that the NDC majority believes that we are the majority, and we'll do just that. We'll protect what has been given to us lawfully. Nothing more, nothing less. Apart from that, let's wait for the Speaker. Thank you.
Okay, yes, our colleague Deputy Majority Leader, Honorable Amako Kibwa, will do a short account rendition.
May body tough on the crab. Now, Majority Leader, I can say 4 members of Parliament, Honorable Kwachiaka, Honorable Asante, Honorable Mamde Morrison, and Honorable Andrew Esiema. 4 members of Parliament, I call Honorable Esiema, if independent, I could join MPP, were filing. 3 other members, no, if political party do more filing independent. Yembra no, ye won constitution, no. Article 97 1 G and H. HSS omuyesa na HSS say omu advocate omu seat na speaker nso wo hu tumi say otisa say oma yeti wo parliament wo hwe ye stand order na enu nti na speaker tutu sa na mo ye speaker ye ni nyina ne ewo mra kwan so say na so ye na ba no sa no nti no ama ye NDC fu na ye minority no se sia ya ye majority ye ho adoso ase MPP fo wo hwemra mu no a se sia no che se ye oha aduasansia na MPP fo ye oha aduasa enum ama ye akoye majority na sa majority na ye mra kwan so na de amaye na nya de a ye betutu mu fom se the leader kai no ye be gina say ye majority ni aye niema majority ye be ye niema ebeboa Ghana man na ye ma obia emetietia ye mfa hodi so ye gidi se speaker ni decision na o make ye no e mra kwan so obia entumi nsisa no na ye be gina say majority going forward mdamas na ye majority nso ye nya no ye bebo modern say sa amerikitwa ye de be ye niema bia ye nim say ha Ghana for example tax how many yen bibi to say ye levy bibi say betting tax ye be to na more than didn't 10 make sure say sa amra ni nyina ya sesa na ama Ghana ho ato the ones
okay
Question. The majority in Parliament has just addressed the press conference to set the records straight. As far as the majority is concerned, the ruling by the Speaker still holds, and that the NDC forms the majority in Parliament. Again, they have also made it emphatic that on Tuesday they are going to defend Parliament and, of course, defend the Constitution. And so, what they have
Medafo se wo hu ensem ni dede bia ebitwagu e wo social media ne so na emom no pe de ye no kure ankasa de a ene mesiro so be subscribe to your YouTube channel no the Punch TV me a subscribe button me se hu hia me ye pa se de be ensem bi e be circulate wo media ne so no eba na e post ya nso bi na notification na wanya bi ahye de ama me mesiro se wo be share video ama foforo enya bi ahye obi wa manone anase Ghana ha krampa obetimi enya bi ahwe de ama me afen so ma we mfi se wo be like o comment eye wadwenkyere no so then no comment section wo efa ma me na mitimi mekenkan emfa emam de opesa wo twire bi a wo de twire to no ba be kenkan ne kama de ama o channel ni din de the Punch TV yankasa so ye frame a kyere broni makrao